Running commentary. We are exploring listening to albums, and we listen to the artist's vision and concept. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society was released in November of 1968 and was the band's sixth studio album. And it was the last time that they recorded with the original quartet. I was asked to review this album by our director, who put this forward as a suggestion. Didn't know anything about the album going in, so it was a novel experience. Really didn't know any of the material. I researched that there were no hit singles on this album. There's not a single hit on this record. It's a difficult album to review. The thing that I like about the Kinks is just not present on this album. When they're grooving and they get their lyrics correct, and sometimes they just get the mood absolutely correct. Here what I feel has happened is that they had kind of taken a leaf out of maybe the Herman's Hermits or the Monkees book and gone for more of this sort of nursery rhyme style British pop hit that dominated the latter end of the late 1960s. Of course, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were doing real things and adult things. And then you had bands like Herman's Hermits and the Monkees doing these kind of like sing-along throwaway things that are very popular with Americans. It's almost a depiction of an English person as a sort of doddering, glottal-stopped clown. And this is what about this album I don't like. It just kind of makes a mockery of this group. The Village Green Preservation Society sort of comes in and it's sort of toot-toot and it's very sort of steam train and toffees and, you know, little public school kids, you know, snotty noses. It just sort of wisps and kind of doesn't really go anywhere. It's sort of meandering and whimsical, but not in a way that I recognise to do with any sort of village green that I've ever been on in the English countryside. There's no reference to cricket. Sure, it's in Do You Remember Water, but Village Green is a cricket. It's playing cricket. It's a pub. It's a post office. It's a community gathering on a summer day. It's weird. This album to me doesn't have anything to do with what it talks about or purports to be doing. I think maybe they got caught up a little bit with their own legend of something like Autumn Almanac or a track like that, which have more relevance. Do You Remember Water? Do I remember the song? I don't remember the song. I don't care to remember the song. Johnny Thunder, Last of the Steam-Powered Trains. Very big, I'm sure, with Pete Waterman, who loves steam trains. I don't know what they're doing here. I really don't. And I'm not surprised that the bassist left the following year. Big Sky. Okay, what is any of this material to do with? I don't understand. Were they on drugs? It doesn't sound like they were on drugs. It sounds like they were earnestly recording something that they thought was kind of witty and funny, and I just didn't laugh once. It was just like a record full of bad jokes. Sitting by the Riverside finally kind of doesn't annoy me. It's like, okay, yeah, this could work. This I could see. This I can see. Sitting with the pine on the grass, having a nice chill out by the river. Yeah, I can totally dig this song. This is okay. You know, it's not annoying me. And after 6 duds, I was absolutely delighted to hear something that wasn't terrible. Animal Farm, Village Green, Starstruck. Phenomenal Cat comes on. I like Phenomenal Cat. I liked it. It's kind of wonky and off, and just like me, I really liked it. I thought that this was a good song. I liked that. All of My Friends Were There. Wicked Annabella. Monica. People Take Pictures of Each Other. I just don't know where this material sits. It's like some kind of kaleidoscopic trip on acid. But it's just so cutesy, and tubs of marmalade and toast and kittens and cats. It's like the Kinks as a rock group doing this material. I just, nothing is striking me. Nothing is reaching out to me. Ray Davies is one of the most influential people in rock music. This album is claimed to be one of the most influential albums of all time, and I just don't know why. I can't see anything here. It sort of reminds me of an episode of Rainbow. you know, Jeffrey and Bungle and Sue, and it's just really, oh, Sue's the sweep show, Sooty and Sweep Show. It's the same thing. It's sort of kiddie-ish and patronizing and out of step with what made them such huge stars. Picture Book is the song that is the best song on the album, bar none. It's catchy, it fits in, it's 60s, it's Marvy, it's like, you know, you can totally see yourself, you know, kind of dancing to this at a club and having fun with it. And Picture Book really rescued the mark on this album. The album was produced by Ray Davies. Sometimes an outside ear is very important. That would have really helped matters here. Maybe, I don't know what this was about. I wish someone in the late 60s would tell me what this was about, whether it worked. Why did they release this album? There's no hits on it. I don't get it. I absolutely do not understand why the Kinks released this album. To sit here and listen to this album with a group that had all these #1 records and then went on to make Lola and went on to make 8 Man and other great records, I just was very, very disappointed with this record. I have to say that Picture Book did help its mark in the end. And it wasn't bad musically, it wasn't bad lyrically, it just, nothing, it was completely of a bygone era. It might as well have been out of Victorian days for me, for my connectivity to it. You know, I'm sure maybe my granddad has a story about this, maybe my mother knows what to make of this record. But the final mark for the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society, which is also a very long and annoying title, is 52%. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, recommend it to friends, post comments. Also, if you have an album that you'd like to hear reviewed, we welcome your requests.